Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. This is Celine Lizette here with Soul Vibes CC. So yeah, I talked about in my last video how I'm trying to come back and do a video per week. Excuse my freaking cough and phlegm. I am sick. This week has been extremely crazy. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have heard about the fires in Southern California, and it has just wreaked havoc. And it's just so sad. It's freaking devastating. Can't speak right now. And also, it's just wreaked havoc on my emotional health, mental health, and I'm not even that affected by the fires. Like, my place, well, currently I'm not at my place. I am at my parents' house in Orange County again. I am grateful that I had a place to go to. I pretty much freaked out in my apartment on, I think it was Wednesday morning. And because a neighboring city next to me was getting evacuated. But aside from that, like, I woke up at 4 a.m. from the winds, and it was just like rattling my window. And then I started thinking, like, oh my God, like, I was already aware of one of the fires, the biggest one in Eaton Canyon, because me and my friend were hanging out the night before, and we saw it driving by like at midnight. And I was like, oh my God, this is the end vibes. Like, that movie literally is what I thought of. And it's crazy because now, a few days later, the Hollywood Hills fire happened, and I think the Hollywood sign is on fire. So I'm like, dude, it literally is that movie. But anyway, so I already was like thinking of that. And then at 4 a.m. when I woke up, I was just like, I have to go back to OC because I have appointments. Like, my cat has a vet appointment and stuff. So I was like, should I just go now? Because my power was already going out in my apartment complex. And then, like, I don't know, I just started thinking the worst. Like, literally, I had so much anxiety at 4 a.m. And then I was just thinking a lot too, like, about what my ex would tell me about just like the end of the world. And yeah, it's just really scary stuff, which I'm like, dude, it might be the end of the world. Like, I don't know. It might be the apocalypse times. And I'm trying not to think like that. I'm trying to think positively. But he really, like, got that into my head that it might be the end of times, which, no one really knows. But yeah, so it just made me think, like, okay, if this is, that potential time or whatever, it's a state of emergency, am I prepared to be alone in my apartment with no power? I don't even have emergency water. I have like a Brita water filter, but I just started panicking, thinking of like all the emergency things, because I have been in an emergency before. I was in a hurricane once I was like a Hurricane 4 in Cabo, and my family and I were out there, and just seeing all the stuff that happened. Like, the power gets shut off, the water gets shut off. It's like people were rationing food. The sister hotel got abandoned. Like, it was crazy. So that's the only experience I've had with like being in an emergency. And so I was like, am I prepared to do that here by myself? And then that's when I was just like, nope, I'm just gonna get up, packed up like my main belongings. Like, I knew to pack my social security card, I knew to pack my passport, and then just like a few clothes, and then my face wash and some shampoo, and then my cat stuff. And then I drove us at freaking like 4:45 a.m. Got to my parents at 5 a.m. And so now I'm here at my parents' place. So that is what's happening. And I feel like because of that, yeah, my mental health and emotional health has just been pretty bad, unfortunately. I'm trying to stay sane by like going to the beach. Now that I'm in Orange County again, I'm like, okay, like, I need to ground myself, because I truly believe like all of us are connected, and it's important for the people that can to like keep their vibration as high as possible. And I think I just like, with watching the news and getting sucked into like, just, that's all I'm seeing. That's all the content I'm seeing. It's hard not to, though, because you want to stay up to date, especially like with my area where my apartment complex is. Like, I don't know, I was considering going back tonight just because I miss my apartment. And then people nearby also went back, like their evacuation, I don't know, not evacuation plan, like the evacuation was lifted for them. So, and they're closer to the fire than I am, but the air quality is crap, and people are saying like, if you can avoid going back to LA right now, like, avoid it. So that's what I'm trying to do. And then tomorrow is like my friend's birthday. And that's just something that I thought about today too. Like, I left my apartment because I was like, okay, I don't want to be alone if an emergency happens, whatever, if world is ending, something like that. I would rather be with people I love. And then after just one day of being back at home with my parents, I literally am like trying not to go insane. It's very difficult to be around my dad, who's very like, just a lot of energy. Both my parents are a lot of energy, but my dad specifically is like what triggers me. And so I'm like, oh my God, maybe it would have been better to just be alone. Which is sad to say. Like, I know that sounds fucked up and I mean, effed up. And this is, you know, like, I'm just gonna vent on how I feel. I know I should be grateful to have my parents around and all of that. Like, I do feel that way, but it's just hard when we're not the same vibe. And then to live with them, like, I just moved out for that reason. Like, I need my space. And I think I'm going through like a whole transformation and stuff, but I'm trying to give them grace. Like, I know my parents love me. It just made me think like, I really love my friends and I consider them like my people, like my family. And so I was just thinking like, who would I want to be with if the world ended? And I was like, honestly, like my friends or somebody that like, I don't know, just that like gets me, or, you know, that's like fun to be around. And I think I mentioned I was hanging around a friend on Tuesday night. That's a new friend actually. And it's a straight guy, which I don't have many straight friends. I mean, straight guy friends. I have mostly gay guy friends and girlfriends that are my closest friends. So I'm trying to navigate like what it's like to have straight male friends, especially in this world. Cause I never thought that I think it's truly hard for straight males and straight females to be friends without something developing. So yeah, like, I don't know, even if I was with that person when the world ended, like that would be cool, you know, something new. And you know, fun company. It was fun company. That's what I'll say about it. So yeah, those are just some of my thoughts. This is what I've been doing all day. It's definitely hard to work right now. I feel like my company, we're worldwide. It's a worldwide technology company. And obviously the people are seeing videos and you know, social media and stuff about the fires. And I feel like only the people in California can really like resonate. But yeah, like they still expect us. There's so much on our plates right now. I think I've been feeling really overwhelmed with work. And so it's just been really hard, especially because I'm sick too. Like I got sick after New Year's Eve. And we went to San Diego. And we partied, me and my friends. So yeah, I did get sick. But even so, like, I don't know, I think work has just been hard even without this. But now especially, like, my mind has been elsewhere and occupied. That's pretty much the latest. I am trying to help out as much as possible with, you know, like with donations. I have donated to like money. I feel like that's always the easiest way for me to donate. But I actually also physically donated to, it was a spot in Long Beach actually that was collecting donations like blankets and stuff. So I took some blankets, I took a jacket that I've never worn before. And then also donating money. Like I said, that's, I don't know, easiest for me to do because I feel like, you know, I'm fortunate enough to have spending money that I can just spend right now. And yeah, like, you know, just trying to be as helpful and, you know, and contribute in a way that I can. And I think that's what's really going to be like, you know, what's going to help LA recover from this after everything. You know, the fires still aren't out completely. I'm trying to visualize as much as possible. I hope my shirt didn't just go up. I'm trying to visualize as much as possible, like the relief that comes from the outcome, you know, like obviously manifestation, visualization. I've like posted some stuff about that on my stories, but just like getting in a state of relief and like truly feeling that relief of hearing like, okay, the fires are over. You know, we're starting the recovery process. Yes, it's going to be painful, but at least we're in the right direction rather than still trying to put out fires. Like I'm really trying to focus on the vibration of relief and like the rebirth that comes from this destruction. And that is something that I actually saw posted by, her name is May Like the Month on Instagram. She's a astrologist or astrologer, and I like a lot of her content. So she had said, because of, I think it was Pluto I don't know. I posted on my story. Actually, I'll post it here, the picture of like what it said, and it made me feel better. But basically, like LA is going through a death and rebirth, is what she said, and I'm really hoping that's true. Because obviously, maybe LA needs it. There is a lot of hidden things behind the scenes, and I think, you know, like conspiracy theories that's being talked about a lot right now because of the fires and just in general. Like, you know, I do believe there's a lot of evil that is in LA. So maybe it's part of a purification process. That's what she said in her post. And it actually made me think of when I was in the hospital recently after my Bali retreat. I think I mentioned this in my last video too, that when I, like literally a week after I came back from Bali, I ended up going to the hospital for 5 days. Long story short, it was a skin infection. But I don't know if I had like this infection within me prior to going to Bali, because there was some signs and symptoms that I might have, but like they would go away. It was very on and off, and it was just weird things. I won't get into too much detail because like that's private, but yeah, it was just like weird like skin things. And then when I went to the hospital, it was bad. It was like the equivalent of these fires, but like on my body, to the point where I had to be in the hospital for 5 days on antibiotics. They didn't know what was causing it at first. They had to do a bunch of tests and stuff. And then finally they were able to figure out like what the cause of it was, give me the right antibiotics. And then obviously, like, you know, I got better, but it was very scary, to say the least, but just like unknown if I was going to stay better when I got out of the hospital, if I was going to like relapse and go back in. So yeah, but luckily I haven't. I'm, you know, praying that I'm protected and that we're good. But my point is, with this story, it just reminded me of like, okay, maybe something huge had to happen, and it was a part of I do believe it was part of my purification process. Like Bali was a very spiritual place and time for me in my life. And interestingly enough, another sign of like purification, my friends and I, we actually dressed in all white for the new year, for like the event that we went to, which was proper in San Diego. And yeah, and we wore all white, and I just felt like that was a very symbolic sign for us, that we were like going in this new year as a new version of ourselves. And especially like for me, considering that's what I was aiming Bali, you know, like what I was aiming for in Bali, that was part of my goals, to be purified, to be cleansed. And then yeah, something drastic happened. I think it was part of the purification process, and now I'm on the other side. So I'm really hoping that maybe LA is going through that. Not to say like, you know, not in any way to relate like what happened to me and what's going on in LA, but you guys get it, like the symbolism. Sometimes we really do have to go through destruction and tower moments and death in order to have a rebirth. So that's really what I'm hoping happens for LA, because obviously that, I mean, not just LA, for Southern California, because I think at this point it's spread that much. And just for us to stay safe. And, you know, I know it's in God's hands, but just doing our part, like I said, to keep the vibes high and raised, and to help out like wherever we can, wherever I can. So yeah, that is pretty much what I just wanted to talk about. I wanted to do a video because I said I wanted to do a video once a week. I did skip last week because it was New Year's. I was recovering. I can do a video on New Year's, my proper experience. And, you know, obviously that'll be more lighthearted, and just like another rave. That, you know, like it was great though. Like I started the new year with my friends, and I'm super grateful for that. And I chose not to have a New Year's kiss. So, but we can talk more about that in my New Year video. And then I also wanted to do a video just like on my relationship. I started writing notes on that, and like, I think I'll try to do more of a free form flowing venting therapy session just because, it's easier. But I don't know, let me know your guys' thoughts if there's something specific you want to hear. And if not, if you watch this video, thank you. Thanks for listening to my rant and my venting. So everyone stay safe. Try to keep your vibes high. Pray, like actually pray. I don't mean like, oh, pray for LA. Like when people say that, I mean genuinely like take that space, that time to like pray to God, pray for protection, pray for all the families affected, the firefighters, our world, Gaza, everything. Like I'm really trying to be mindful with like the energy and space that I'm holding for all of these people, because we are all connected. So thanks, love you guys, stay safe, stay protected, bye.